Hallo, heute lernen wir unsere Modalverben. So today we're going to get started on learning modal verbs. And modal verbs are called that because they modify another verb. It means they work together with another verb. So modals typically are not used all by themselves. We have them in English too. And basically they're verbs like I like doing something, I want to do something, I have to do something. In German, we have these exact same verbs. And there's 6 modal verbs that you'll have to learn in this chapter. And so the German modal verbs we have are können, müssen, wollen, dürfen, sollen, and mögen. Können means to be able to know how to, can. So, ich kann Deutsch, I can speak German. Müssen, to have to. So, wir müssen unser Deutsch lernen. We have to study our German. Wollen means to want to. Dürfen, to be allowed to or permitted to. Sollen, to be supposed to or should. And mögen, to like. And this is the like as in to like someone or something. Up to this point, you've only learned how to say that you like doing an activity. So, ich trinke gern Tee. Du trinkst lieber Kaffee. So we had ich trinke gern, I like to drink, but so far we haven't been able to just say categorically, I like tea. That's what we're going to be able to do with mögen. Ich mag Tee. And so modal verbs in general, the way they function is, just get the screen to show up here. Okay. So if you recall so far, we've been learning how to say simple phrases in German, and our basic sentence rule so far has always been we have a conjugated verb, which comes in second place in our sentence. Not necessarily the second word, but the second element in the sentence. So, for example, Nina und Alexander gehen in die Disco. So Nina and Alexander are the subject. Their activity, the verb, is gehen. They go. And then we have the rest of the sentence to the disco. When we add a modal verb, the way modals work is modals become your primary verb. That means they become the verb that goes in second position, and they become the verb that's conjugated. So that means they're the verb that has to match up with your subject. So Nina und Alexander wollen in die Disco gehen. Nina and Alexander want to go to the disco. In this case, wollen, to want to, is the activity. It's the action. What do they want to do? They want to go. So same as in English, modals don't function on their own. They modify another verb. So Nina and Alexander wollen in die Disco gehen. Our modal comes in second place and is our conjugated verb. And whatever the thing is that's being modified by that verb goes to the very end of your sentence and stays in the infinitive. That means it stays in the version that ends in en, the version that you find if you look up a verb in your dictionary. This makes it really easy because once you learn your 6 modals, they're kind of a little bit of a superpower because they allow you to use any verb that you're not sure how to conjugate. You can just use it with a modal and you don't have to really think about it. And so if we put that into practice, let's see here. All right. So some more examples. Ich kann gut kochen. I can cook well. So ich kann, I can. What can I do? I can cook. And I'm adding an additional modifier. I can cook well. It's not just I can cook well. Ihr müsst 17 Uhr zu Hause sein. Y'all have to be home at 5 p.m. So sein, to be, so you have to be, and you have to be at home. Darf ich den Film sehen, Mutti? Here are modals in first place because just like you learned for every other verb, your modal here represents your yes, no question. So hence the modals come conjugated verb in first place, followed by the subject. So darf ich den Film sehen, Mutti? May I see the movie, Mom? Sie soll ihre Hausaufgaben machen. She should do her homework. So she should, what should she do? She should, in German we make our homework, but she should do her homework. Mögen Sie auch Wein, Frau Ziegler? Again, a yes, no question. Mögen Sie, do you like? Do you also like wine, Frau Ziegler? And you'll notice there's no secondary verb in this sentence. That's okay, because I can assume like to drink, like, you know, I can pretty much, or if you're in a restaurant, would you like to order it? So I can assume what the secondary verb is. So in German, I can actually drop it, whatever that secondary verb is. And we're going to, next off, just take a look at how this functions when I have a verb table. And so our first three major modal verbs are können, müssen, and wollen. Können, to be able to, müssen, to have to, wollen, to want to. And the key thing that's about modals is that they're slightly irregular. But the irregularity follows some of the rules that you've already learned about irregular verbs. So if you recall, you've learned when you deal with irregulars, the irregularity tends to drop away in the plural. That's still going to be the case. The only big difference of modals is that the ich form is also irregular. But that actually makes it easier to remember what's going on, because the ich form is actually going to match very closely to how you would say the same verb in English. So können, the stem is going to change, and it's going to become ich kann, I can. In English, I would also say I can, so that umlauted O becomes an A. And the other key thing you'll notice here is, so far I've always taught you that ich form conjugation ends with an E. In modals, the ich as well as the RCS form are going to be identical, and they both are just the stem of the verb. So that's the verb without any ending attached with the new vowel in there. So ich kann kochen, I can cook. Du follows our usual rules for conjugation. So the change in the stem happens, kann, and then I'm going to add my usual du ending, which is st. So du kannst. And lastly, I mentioned the RCS, he, she, it form is identical to the ich form in modals. So RCS kann. So ich kann kochen, du kannst gut kochen, kann nicht kochen. And once we get to the plural, we're right back to what we're used to with any verb. Wir können, ihr könnt, sie können, and müssen. Again, the umlauted U is going to change. In English, I might say I must, I have to. So ich muss. Again, there's no ending though, because it's a modal. And ich muss, I have to. Ich muss, du musst. We just added T because you already have a double S. So it functions the same if you remember all the way back to the very first week of class. Ich heiße, du heißt. That SZ was already a double S sound, so we just added a T in the du conjugation. And sie muss. Wir müssen, ihr müsst, sie müssen. And wollen, to want to. Ich will. And in English, I will is I'm going to do it. In German, it's I want to do it. So just think of how, in English, I guess you've already achieved what you wanted to do. So ich will heute Abend kochen. I want to cook this evening. Du willst. RCS will. Wir wollen. Ihr wollt. Und sie wollen. So those are our first three. We're now going to look at your last three. Again, there's only 6 modal verbs. And so our next set of modals are dürfen, sollen, and mögen. Dürfen, to be allowed to, sollen, should, and mögen, to like. And again, dürfen, the U with an umlaut changes to ich darf. I'm allowed to. In Germany, there's actually a line of diet foods, like diet desserts, that's called Ich darf. So this is the diet ice cream. This is the ice cream you're allowed to eat if you're trying to eat healthy or stay on a diet. Ich darf. And that means the du form, again, we add our usual st, du darfst. Darf. Wir dürfen. Ihr dürft. Und sie dürfen. Sollen, should, ich soll, du sollst, soll. Und wir sollen, ihr sollt, sie sollen. You'll notice sollen is the easiest one because you don't have to change the vowel. However, the rule of that the ich form and the SES form are just the stem without endings, that part stays true. So ich soll, soll, but du sollst. And lastly, this is the one you've been wanting to use since the very beginning, mögen, to like someone or something. So ich mag Pizza. I like pizza. Du magst. Er mag. And back to wir mögen, ihr mögt, one want to say, und sie mögen. Again, from a purely usage-based orientation, modals are just one of those things you have to memorize. So basically, memorize your modals and you'll be able to use all of them easily. And all of them are just going to function with our secondary verb going to the very end of the sentence. So, for example, if we're just saying all the various things that the Meyers should be doing next Saturday, sollen is easy because we don't have to change the vowel at all. So Frau Meyer und Hanna, sie sollen nächsten Samstag Oma Meyer besuchen. Georg soll nächsten Samstag seine Hausaufgaben für Montag machen. So soll machen, Hausaufgaben machen, and all of the stuff in between, you can put as much as you want between that conjugated modal and your secondary verb. Und Herr Meier soll nächsten Samstag die Waschmaschine reparieren. So he should repair the wash machine next Saturday. But again, the important thing is he should. What should he do? He should repair the washing machine. And we can talk about ich soll nächsten Samstag Wäsche waschen. That in mind, we're going to be practicing a lot of these together in class, but sollen is a nice straightforward verb, and all of your other modals, you have to change the vowel, but as far as how you use them, they're just as easy. It's just a matter of memorizing how both the meanings and how the conjugations work, which you can definitely manage.